Hello, welcome to the Monday edition of Life with Stuart. I'm Stuart, and this is the point of time where I do a weekly review and just share what I did. Let's get to it. So last week at this time, on Mondays, it's my vlogging day, so I was doing the vlogging and the filming and writing and editing of my last post. But before I did that, I was figuring out my track phone, which, if for those of you who don't know what track phones are, it's a pay-as-you-go phone, and I had to get minutes or credit added to it, as well as a new number, and it just took some time over Monday and Tuesday because it was given to me by my mom, and I wanted to have something available so any potential employers could call me back on a personal phone, so I wanted to have that squared away before I went out and asked for any job openings or applications or anything that way I would have a phone number to be reached at. So that was kind of Monday and Tuesday. And Tuesday I got it all figured out after, calling them a couple times and not just going through the automated system, and got that figured out. Ended up calling a local grocery store called Publix and found out they had an in-store online application booth. So I planned to go there a couple days later. And then I finished up some artwork for my Life with Stuart group page, so just Life with Stuart and Jesus, just some drawings of me and Jesus, mostly of our heads, just around the piece of paper. And then Wednesday, I ended up grappling with fear pretty heavily, and I wanted to go out, but then it was raining, so that just kind of dampened the appeal to just go walking out to different places nearby. And then later on we had it upped it to a tornado watch as well, so I just decided to stay home. I ended up writing the blog post, or at least a draft of moments for Friday, and then I did some other story writing and just preparing myself because I wanted to really kick off job pursuit the next day. And then Wednesday night was the last session for Living in Babylon, which is a series that we've had the last few weeks before. And it was just really neat delving into the different issues of microaggression and how do we share our faith with somebody who doesn't agree or see the same view, but wanting to honor and respect them, but sharing the truth in love and all these different things. And so it was just really good. Again, still challenging and encouraging of, why aren't we sharing this as much when we don't have persecution, or are we not sharing it enough to receive persecution? Maybe that doesn't make sense, and I don't know if I worded that correctly, but it was something that we brought up. And then on Thursday, got another reference in and headed out, hit up 5 different places with Publix, so the grocery store first, and applied there. Took the longest, about an hour process, just with a questionnaire and all the information. Then went across the street to Taco Mama, which is a taco place. Then I finished that application at Starbucks, asked Starbucks, they didn't have any job openings, went across the street there to Subway, a sandwich place, and they did, but it had to be online. Went back, gave in my application to Taco Mama, went down the street to Mayway, an Asian restaurant, and got an application there, filled it in, gave it in, and as I was walking home, since I'd taken about 2 to 3 hours for the whole ordeal, I was walking back, and there's this interesting restaurant called the Chocolate Bar, and it's a bar restaurant with a focus on dessert, specifically chocolate, hence the name. And I just felt an urge to go inside. Hadn't been inside, didn't have any idea if they would have any openings like anywhere else I went to, but I went inside anyway. And so I asked, and the hostess in front didn't know, so she got her manager, and her manager came and said they were hiring. She would get an application in the back. So she goes into the back, I wait a few minutes, she comes back and find out there are no applications available, but if I come the next day, so Friday afternoon, around the same time, with my resume, she would just go ahead and have an interview with me. So I was just really surprised. I took her up on the offer, went back home, and shared the news with my host family that I applied to a bunch of different places, applied to Subway online, and worked on my resume a little bit. And then I ended up going to my brother and his wife's house, Trevor and Stephanie, again for a great night of food and family time and fun and just playing with the kids, eating a good meal again and playing Catan. So I was a Catan with my brother. So then Friday morning, found me working on my resume, polishing that up, cutting it, trimming it, rewording it, because I had to condense it down to 2 pages, because it was 3. And then, so we were at Friday. sorry, don't mind the cut there. And back to Friday before the interview, so just working on my resume, trimming that up and just getting that ready, getting it printed out, and just praying for that time that it would go smoothly and everything. So just to give myself time, since I remember her saying to be there around 2 o'clock, I left 20 to 2, so at 1:40, started walking, thinking it would take 15 minutes and how to 5 minutes of a break in there, but I ended up actually getting there in 10 minutes, and so without just waiting around, I just went right in, got sat down by the hostess, and she got the manager. And so right away, Kat, the manager, introduced herself, and we just started talking, and how found out that the host position was open, what I had both experience in and what they were looking for, and that I seemed like a good fit. But she'd have to go through her hire manager, and just had a good brief conversation in the midst of the interview. Just really chill, probably the most laid back interview I've had, even though I haven't had a lot, but I would definitely go up there as one of the easiest ones I've had. And so it's just really neat to have that opportunity. And so she said she would call me back the next day, so Saturday. And so we parted ways, thanked her, and just went back. And by the time I'd walked out and crossed the street, I checked my phone, and it was only 2 o'clock then. So from the time I left the house to getting done with the interview was only 20 minutes. And so that was pretty incredible of how quickly, but how smoothly, and just how really just amazing it was. So I just was really just thanking the Lord and praying and praising Him on the way back home. Shared the news, just took a break, edited my blog post and posted moments, and just had a great evening of rest and just being with the family. Saturday was a very chill day. Found something online called Webtoons, which is a bunch of comic creators who have a bunch of different works on there. I would recommend checking it out. So I did that some Saturday morning, waiting to hear back from Kat around 2 o'clock, and 2 o'clock came and went, and I didn't end up hearing from her, and so I'm still waiting back to hear from her. And so the rest of the day was just very chill, just hanging out with the family, a very quiet day and everything like that. Sunday, had a great session for a small group about the Old Testament with Rob, someone who's very keen on the prophecy and the focus of Jesus being foreshadowed to through to the New Testament, but also just how central He is to the whole Bible. And so it was really good hearing that as I've been reading through the Bible. I just finished up Deuteronomy and started Joshua, so I could see a lot of the connections and how I want to take more time and being careful at the details and just paying more attention to the story as it goes. And so that was Sunday morning. I'm looking forward to more of those with Rob to come. And then in the afternoon, after church, our small group joined a bunch of other small groups and their families and the other speakers and teachers at Angel's Island Coffee, which our preacher Alan Wright's daughter owns, Angel's Island Coffee. And so it was really cool because I, one, had worked there when I was here last, 2, it was the first time I'd been there since being back, and 3, just the company and all the families and everything just made it just so good and so fun and enjoyable. And so that was something I really enjoyed being part of, and almost opted out from going, but I'm so glad I went to be able to meet new people and just to be with people I had already met and just continually developing a relationship with them. So yeah, the rest of Sunday was very chill and working on a friend's paper to just edit and proofread, and just taking some time to read and getting off my computer. And so that was Sunday, and the week very busy, but also a lot of good things happened out of stepping out of fear, stepping into faith and trusting in the Lord, because not knowing what would open up, such as going into the chocolate store and the chocolate bar, I should say, and what came out of that. And so I will catch you up on what I did today, because that's for next week, and I hope you had a great week and a great day. And if you have any questions about my vlogs, about my blogs, about what I'm doing, or if you just want to contact me for prayer requests, please do that, and I'll catch you on the next video. I hope you have a great time. Bye now.